Good morning. I'm going to call this session of the Board of Revision to order. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are Treaty 1 territory, the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. With me, farthest to the left is Richard Whitbread. Next to me, Gisela Lampel. My name is Harvey Diamond. The City Assessment Department is represented by Svetlana Scheibel, and our Secretary is Kelsey Harrison. We'll be hearing applications for revision of the assessment rules in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision have been requested described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. Statements that any parties make after this hearing must be sworn, and anybody providing testimony must be sworn in first. We do not accept comparative assessments which we do not consider as evidence. Our board is appointed annually by council. We are independent of the city administration and the assessment department. We make our decisions based on the evidence that we hear, and we issue written orders that we mail to all parties as soon as possible. Our decisions with respect to application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Assessment Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to an application for exemption from taxation, and the method and how to appeal will be sent with our decision. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the matters to be addressed to each applicant following their swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony, followed by any questions that they may have. Then we will then provide their testimony, followed by any questions. And each party will be given an opportunity to summarize if they wish to do so. Once the evidence on application has been brought forward, the party may leave. The person will repeat for every matter in the agenda today. And after all applications have been heard, we will deliberate in private, we will render our decision, and we send out a registered mail as soon as possible. Be advised that this public hearing is recorded and will form part of a public record. Thank you.
Do you swear in or affirm? Could you please state your name?
Svetlana? Sure.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I
Thank you. Do you swear? Could you please state your name?
Jared Story.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any evidence?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Ms. Scheibel, the first matter on the docket this morning is 620 Sterling Lyon Parkway. We see when you're ready.
I have number 19-5304, business assessment ID 50969. Owner is Assiniboine Credit Union Limited. Our assessment was 204,120. My recommendation, supported by my evidence, to decrease amount to 172,440. Our business base rent for our business with square footage area, premise area 5,318 square feet. We did apply $29.98 plus occupancy cost $2.45. So our rental value 172,440. It's owner occupied. It's not owner occupied promise. It's lease. Lease size 2014 for 20 years at $26.95. On next page, I just presented 8 comparables. All it's banks. Our subject premise built in 2014. I have premises built between 1988 and 2017. All my lease start before reference day April 1st, 2018, between 2013, 2017. A lease term from 2 to 20 years. Reported area between 4,000 to 6,500. So I reported rent between $30 to $45. Or my comparables presented for the map below with road dot in Sterling Byway. Based on comparables, the assessment is fair. It should be decreased to $172,440. Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
Mr. Sturry, are you accepting the recommendation?
No, I'd like to proceed, thank you.
Okay, go ahead and ask any questions you might have.
Sure. Okay, so just to be clear, this file was heard by the Board of Revision on the realty side, and the decision was $28.50 per square foot, correct?
I did defend realty of these properties. It was my suggestion to decrease amount for this base rent $29.98. So I followed my decision on realty.
Okay, but the decision on realty was $28.50 per square foot, correct?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because how it is formulated, 1 second. The decision in base, the applicant evidence, it's nothing more.
Okay. Did the city appeal that decision to the municipal board?
I'm not aware of.
Okay. I suppose those are my questions, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rupert, any questions of the assessor?
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Whipple, any questions?
Same thing.
And I don't either, so go ahead, Mr. Sturry.
Thank you very much. Okay. So this file was heard by the Board of Revision. This was in February, February 7th, just over a month ago. And you'll see in the order details, the decision is based on the applicant's evidence, reducing the realty assessment from $2,789,000 to $1,961,000. So in my package, I've included our submission, and I believe it's the second last page. You can see how it worked out. There's our $1,961,000, which was awarded by the board. And the top line shows that the input that we used was $28.50. Now, this is supported by the comparables that we initially submitted. And that's in this brief as well on page 6. We have a number of comps here. There's 19 that show how we came to our $28.50. So I included that in my submission as well as an appendices. So we are simply asking that the business assessment follow the decision of the realty, and we are asking that a rate of $28.50 be applied, which would bring us to a total ARV, on my 4th page, of $164,592, rounded to $165,000. So barring any questions, that's my presentation. Thank you.
Any questions, Ms. Sable?
No questions.
Mr. Rupert, do you have any questions? Nothing, yeah. Ms. Remington?
No questions, thank you.
Okay, I don't have any questions either.
Thank you.
Our next matter is 2100 McGilvery Boulevard. And Ms. Sable, when you're ready, you can proceed.
File number 19-5640, business roll 32895. Owner is Type of Credit Union Limited. We did assess the total annual rental value of business at 741,840. This total area of premise 35,049 square feet with overall rental value of $21.70. Subject occupied, we listed divide premise for 4 different premises. We have main floor bank, 2 premises, second and third, it's office building, office space on second floor, state alone ATM. So our base rent for bank $23.82, for office second floor between $12 to $16, in stay alone bank ATM $130. Our occupation cost $2.45. So our overall annual rental value $21.70. On next page, you can see my comparables for bank. First, it's same 8 comparables. This we started between 2013-2017 prior April 1st, 2018 reference date, and our rent between $30 to $45 per square foot. We did apply to less as $24 per square foot baseline. On next page, office rent, 4 comparables. On Taylor, Keniston, Grand Portridge, years built between 2001-2016, lease started between 2015-2018, and rent between $16 to $30 per square foot. We did apply between $12 to $16 per square foot. It's very reasonable. On next page, ATM rent comparables. I presented free rent on Ness, Mary and St. Mary, between $140 per square foot and $150 per square foot. We did apply less than $130 per square foot. The subject rent is very reasonable and below my comparables. Based on comparables, assessment is fair and should be confirmed at $741,840. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Story, any questions?
Yeah, just a couple quick ones. So again, this, the realty was heard by the Board of Revision. Is that correct?
Okay.
Okay, and it appears that the ruling, here in the details, it says that the ruling is based on the net operating income presented by the applicant and by removing the 5% non-recoverable. So, has the city appealed this decision to the municipal board?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, those are my questions, thank you.
So, any questions?
Just one. You have 3 components here, ATM, office, and bank. The numbers you've generated using the overall average 2117, are they all model driven?
Yes.
No adjustments to the model?
No.
Thank you.
Mr. Rempel, any questions?
No questions, thank you.
And I don't have any either. Go ahead, Mr. Story.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we are at 2100 Gilbury. As I mentioned in my questioning, this file was heard by the Board of Revision on the realty side, and the Board reviewed our net operating income. So I've included that here. There are 3 components. That's on the number of these, but on the second page, this table, this is what we included on our original realty submission to get to our NOI. So we used, there's 3 components again. There's the office, lunchroom, storage, and mechanical space, which is 11,588 square feet. To that we applied a rate of $9 per square foot. The retail banking on the main floor is 5,005 square feet, and to that we applied a rate of $30. There's some office space on the main floor, comprising 11,173 square feet, and to that was applied a rate of $18. And the credit union, which is on the second floor, 7,212 square feet, and that was applied a rate of $17 per square foot. So in the grand scheme of things, the way this averages out is we've got 34,978 square feet, and the average rent across all, the blended rent across all units is $16.52. That's the NOI that was, that's the basis for the NOI that was accepted by the Board of Revision and not contested by the City of Winnipeg to the Municipal Board. So we ask that that stand. So our workup is right here, and so what we end up with is an ARV of $663,856, rounded to $664,000. That's my presentation. Thank you.
I have
Second?
questions.
Yep.
According to realty, was removing 5% not recoverable expenses, correct?
That's correct.
Please open page 15, page and brief.
So page 15 of my brief.
Yes, correct.
Okay, yeah.
You can see in your workup, in code summary, you put 5% in. If you remove 5% out, your net market rent per square foot will be higher than $16, correct?
No, the indicated market value will change, but the inputs on the rent won't change.
No questions.
Mr. Whitford, any questions?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Mr. Whitford, any questions?
I'm just wondering, I noticed that on the city assessment evidence, it indicates the total area of all premises is 35,049 square feet.
Yeah.
And on your page, your unnumbered page, 2, it says it's 34,978.
That's correct. 34,978 is the number on the business assessment roll. That's correct.
Okay, I don't understand why they're different.
Because it's 35,049 square feet, because I define these roles and I put extra square footage for ATM outside.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's new numbers right now.
But that's
It's
not on
correct
the actual
number.
roll.
It's actual, right now, after
It's not on
review.
the roll. That's not on the actual, if you go to the.
After review, it's actual roll.
Okay, you know
now.
what, I'll let you both, you're not pushing right now.
Because before any appeal.
I'm gonna let you both make a summation on this one, okay? I don't think I want this back and forth. Okay, once everything's in, so you've completed your evidence now, you both completed it. Some questions have been asked, and I think in this case, I think you should both make summations because you have different positions, and we'd like to hear your last word on it. So I'm inviting you, Ms. Seibel, to go first, and Mr. Regan go second. With the summation.
Okay.
Okay.
The business is, okay. I did review realty on Board of Revision. Changes was made by adding square footage for ATM outside building. So correct square footage right now $35.49. Same square footage are billed for business zone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, just in summation, very quickly, this is my perspective, a very cut and dry issue. We appealed the realty. We were awarded our market rents. It was not disputed by the city, so I simply ask that the decision of the business assessment follows that of the realty. Thank you very much.
So just before closing,
Yes.
I'd like to ask you a question that was asked by Ms. Seibel.
Yes.
And I see on your work up on page 15 that you didn't take out the 5% non-recoverable that was not awarded to you.
Right.
And if that does come out, you're gonna have a higher NOI.
Right, but that won't affect the inputs on the actual
Okay,
rates.
well, why won't it?
Because it'll affect the quantum, it'll affect the bottom line, but it doesn't work back up to the rent per square foot. It'll affect the assessed realty value, but that doesn't affect the actual inputs on the market rent.
Yeah, I'll think about that. Okay. Thank you. Okay, the next matter is 2785 Pembina Highway. And Ms. Sappho, when you're ready, you can proceed.
File number 19-5402, Road, Business Road 952, owner is Bank of Montreal. There's the total annual rental value of $216,960 was for premise area of 6,345 square feet. Our overall annual rental value $34.19. That include $2.45 operation cost. Base rent for premise of 6,345 square feet, $31.74. That very well supported on second page. Rent between maximum $45 per square foot for 8 different comparables. Everyone is banned. Not below red dotted our subject property. Let's look closest bank on Center Street, 30 Center Street. It's rent for $35 per square foot in 2016. This on-premise lease, size 2017, on $32 per square foot. We did assess $31.74. The base, so the subject rent is reasonable in below my comparables and existing lease. Based on comparables, the assessment and fairness should be confirmed, and $216,960. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, just one, sorry, you mentioned 30 Center Street, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, now you're aware, and I see that's in all of your comp sheets here, and I know that this is, I've gone back and watched some of these realty hearings, and you do know that that's a purpose-built building in Bridgewater with massive tenant inducements built into that rent, correct?
I talk about lease that started 2016 for $45 per square foot. We just looking for lease for similar space, bank space.
I'm aware of
It's
that.
closest bank to my comparables that I mentioned.
But you're aware that that's not a typical market rent because of the massive amounts of tenant
It's a
inducements?
rent for bank.
It's a rent for a bank, that includes a huge amount of tenant inducements for built-to-suit building. Okay, now, we did not handle the realty, but I went back and I watched the hearing. And this was heard in February as well, yeah, February 10th. And the board ruled that the applicant's net operating income.
Are you asking a question or
Yes, sir.
giving evidence right now?
Okay. I'm asking, so this decision of the realty, on the realty side, was this appealed by the city of Winnipeg?
I'm not aware.
Okay. Okay, those are my questions, thanks.
Thank you. Super, any questions?
Nothing.
Ms. Whipple?
Thank you.
Sample, so the ARV that you've got, that's all model driven,
Model driven, correct.
and the lease in place had no semblance on how that was arrived at? I noticed there's lease in place for-
Started in 2017 for $32 per
No, I
square
see
foot.
that.
Yeah,
You
it's,
sure?
it's similar,
I understand that, but it didn't have any effect on the model, or did it?
no. But our model analyze all leases, bank
Right.
leases.
So
for
would
all
it, so it would include this lease then? too?
Yeah, because it's
Okay,
evident.
so it did have some influence there?
Yes,
Okay.
and it's still model less as existing lease. It's fair for this property.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think you've already given your evidence, but go ahead and give your evidence.
But this is sort of an atypical one, because we represent the tenant, but not the owner on the realty side. So in order to determine how the realty went, I went back and I watched the actual hearing, and I pulled the brief from evidence to see. Now, what was interesting was the applicant proposed one value at the beginning and then changed the value in the middle of the hearing. So I've actually recreated his value, and this is how it was ruled. And you can see quite clearly that the market rent that was applied in the decision of the board was $28 per square foot. So again, we ask that the business assessment follow the realty assessment by way of market rent. It was $28 per square foot. The city has not contested it. So when we apply that $28 per square foot, we come to a total ARV of $193,388. So we were requesting a rounded ARV of $193,000. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any questions, Ms. Sable?
We did apply $28 per square foot with existing lease $32. How is it?
I'm not aware of the existing lease. That's, you haven't provided that here today, and we don't handle the realty.
Your business didn't support you with his existing lease?
Pardon me? I'm not sure, that's hearsay, you're telling me that that's what the lease is, but I can't confirm that. I don't have that.
Okay. No questions.
Mr. Green, any questions?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm looking at the board decision and trying to understand how the $28 was calculated. Can you share that with us?
Well, the $28 was presented as part of the evidence by the applicant.
Okay, so nothing in here that,
Well, what I
I
can
see
show
some
you.
jottings on.
Yeah, well, here, I'll show you. So it was interesting because the applicant's brief had a different number to start with, and then during the course of the hearing, there were some changes that were made on the fly. So I was listening to it on YouTube, and I recreated it here based on the inputs that were submitted, and it does work out. So I do apologize for not numbering these pages, but it's right before my, it's right after the decision.
Yeah,
So that's how that number was arrived at, and that $28 per square foot was the market rent that was utilized.
thank you. No other questions?
Mr. Whipple, any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Okay, I will give it. Okay. So our next property is 2799 Pembina Highway. And you see when you're ready?
File number 19-5543, business ID 1243, ED Canada Trust. Our total rental value $151,020. Total area of premise 4,505 square feet. Overall annual rental value of $33.52. That includes $2.45 occupancy cost. Our base rent, $31.07. Very well supported by my comparables on the next page. Same eight comparables rent between $30 to $45. It's most depend of location and years of building. Subject lease signed in 2006 for $29 per square foot, which should upward adjustment for extra 13 years, because our reference date April 1st, 2018. So $31.07 is very reasonable and below my comparables. Based on comparables, the assessment is fair and should be confirmed and at $151,020. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions? Sorry.
Yeah, just very quickly. So these inputs are all model driven. That's safe to say. One small point, I did check the number on this. You've got the premise area at 4,505.
Okay.
It's 4,500. I just wondered what gave rise to that change. I believe it's always been 4,500. Just want to make sure that that's.
It's not in our system.
It's in the system. Okay. And the reported rent you have here is $29, but you've applied a base rent of $33.52. Is that correct?
Yes, but this was started in 2006 for
Okay.
15 years, so it should be a good adjustment.
Okay, and then, again, this was heard by the board, and the applicant, the decision was based on the evidence presented by the applicant, is that correct?
I was not part of it.
Okay. Did the city appeal the decision on the
I
realty?
know that.
Okay, those are my questions, thanks.
Thank you. Any questions, Mr. Whitman?
Nothing.
Mr. Whipple, any questions?
Thank you.
So, on the last property, you had a lease in place that you thought substantiated the value that basically the city had, it was very close to it. And on this one, you have a lease in place that is,
In 2006.
well, that's true, but it's still the rent that's being obtained. And so assuming that you have a prudent landlord who made a lease at that time, he was obviously aware of what the market was, and that's what it's getting, which is pretty, not that far below what the city's model has.
Correct.
But isn't it right to basically asking us on two files to go two different ways, where the city would benefit both ways? If we were to go with the market, with the rent lease in place
Mhm.
in one area, why should we do it in the second?
Yes.
I'm not
because-
saying I'm going to, but I'm just asking
Yes,
that question.
and this lease exists, it's our comparables, it's our evidence.
Yeah.
So in this list 2006, for today, 2018 market, it will be a little bit higher. So in this case, $51, it's reasonable.
Okay, anyway, this story, we'll hear from you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so this, much like the last one, is a property where we represent the tenant through the bank, but not the owner on the realty. Now, to further complicate things, there's also a Burger King on the realty roll. So there's a bank and a Burger King. So when this was heard at the realty side was heard by the Boardroom division, the calculation included the Burger King as well as the bank. Now, as I mentioned, the decision of the board was based on the evidence presented by the applicant. So I went and I watched the hearing to see what transpired, and I pulled the evidence to see what was submitted, and that's here in my brief, that's near the back. Now, sort of interesting was there were changes made on the fly in that hearing, but one thing that did not change was the $28 per square foot applied to 4,500 square feet on the bank. So, and again, I do ask that area be correct. It's 4,500 square feet. The evidence that was submitted by the applicant, which was accepted by the board, is $28 per square foot. So again, in keeping with our methodology, we ask that the business assessment follow the decision on the realty. and the $28 per square foot being applied. Now, when we apply that $28 per square foot over the area of 4,500 square feet, we come to a total ARV of $137,025. So we do respectfully submit that the ARV should not exceed $137,000. That's my presentation. Thank you.
Any questions?
Questions?
Sir, any questions?
Nothing.
No, no.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and our next item is 1335 Jefferson Avenue. Are you ready? You can proceed.
File number 19-5274, business ID 31407, we have Integra Credit Union Limited. The total rental value of $294,540 was estimated, with total area of all premises 10,456 square feet. So overall, annual rental value $28.70, that include $2.45 occupation cost. So our base rent $25.72 per square foot was applied. On page, second page, I have same 8 comparables. This red dot of map, it's our subject property or not. So closest will be Boardroom Avenue. It's a rent for $31 per square foot. We did apply $25.72. So based, the subject rent is very reasonable in the comparables. Based on comparables, the assessment is fair and should be confirmed at $294,540 square feet. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're just requesting confirmation on this file as it is pending, the realty is pending at the municipal board.
Okay.
So we'd like those to be decided in tandem, so we'll just ask for confirmation on that file today. Thank you.
Shepard, I understand that the rest of the docket today is going to all be confirmed, so we can go through them a lot quicker. You can just basically
Okay.
indicate what the base rent is and,
Mhm.
or the ERV is that you have. I don't have to substantiate it because they're all going to be confirmed.
File number 19-5272, business roll 34408, Integra Credit Union Limited. We did assess premise at $26.06 per square foot. So our annual rental value of $174,900.
Thank you. Ms. Story?
Asking for confirmation again. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next one, Dr. David Friesen Drive. Ms. Shepard?
File number 19-5496, business ID 3365, Qualified Development Limited owner. We have total rental value of $1,523,700. Our total, all area premises 65,033 square feet. Our overall annual rental value of $23.43 was applied.
Okay, thank you.
$2.45.
So we have a total of $1,523,700.
Correct.
Ms. Story?
We're asking for confirmation pending reviewed by the municipal board. Thank you.
Ms. Shapel, the next dealing with 599 Empress Street.
Empress Street, file number 19-5471, business ID 33542, owner United Health Service Corporation, Blue Cross. We did assess business at $1,165,440 with overall annual rental value of $14.94 with
Okay, that's fine. So you have a total of $1,165,440.
Correct.
Mr. Story?
Yeah, you're requesting confirmation on that file. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, our next property is 77 Main Street, Ms. Shapel. Are you ready?
File number 19-5592, business ID 22241, owner is the Northwest Company. Our total annual rental value of $1,401,780.
Thank you. So we have a total then, Mr. Story, of $1,401,780.
And we're asking that it be confirmed.
Confirmation? Thank you. Okay, we're next dealing with 423 Main Street. Shapel?
File number 19-5652, business ID 33325. Owner is the Canada Life Assurance Company. Our total annual rental value is $1,700,600.
Thank you. Mr. Story?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is 77 Main?
This is 77, this is 423 Main.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's fine. Included the wrong Main Street. Yeah, that's fine. We are just looking for confirmation on that.
Right. And the last property on the docket today is 201 Portage Avenue, Unit 2450. Are you ready, Ms. Shapel?
File number 9-5241, ID 24254, RBC Dominion Security Inc. Our total annual rental value is $686,340.
Okay, thank you.
And
Ms.
again,
Story?
asking for confirmation on this file. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, thank you very much. We'll make our decisions as soon as we can.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoy the beautiful morning.
Yes. You too. This is a